I don't know how to move on. Well, oh, sorry. I'm being quiet.
You'll wake him.
Oh, who?
Peter.
Oh, Tiny Peter's having a tiny snooze.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, go back to bed.
He was just stirring. He's not actually awake.
Okay. I'll put a glass of milk next to him. He loves that.
Okay.
Just the smell of milk.
Milk.
Oh, there it is. It's working.
He's gonna hear you.
Oh, his little feet are kicking. Oh.
Oh, this is weird. Okay. Here I go. I'm going to count all my money. Let's see. One coin. Oh no! Oh, beans! all of my copious cash.
Oh, Ben, there's pennies everywhere. Peter.
Oh, sorry.
I was having a lovely dream that I wasn't a member of Podiots.
Fuck. Sorry, dude. That I woke you with my immeasurable wealth.
Oh, God.
Man.
Dreadful.
Are you going to be in a grumpy mood for the podcast now?
Yeah. Fuck you guys.
Oh, we'll never get him back down again. He's such a nightmare.
Flippin' heck. Well, I suppose we should just get on with it then.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official Vidiots podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law of the three R's, where everybody brings
A thing along to talk about.
I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
Hey, guys, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good.
All right. Do you have any little traditions when you're doing the thing along to talk about? Because I have to go like full eyes closed kind of dance into it to get the rhythm right.
Oh, really?
I get really tripped up with Discord. There's like a slight mismatch, so I've got to get like enter the thing zone.
Yeah, the trick is not to try and slow down to sync up with the people who you can hear who are behind you. You have to just stay at the same rate that they are, even though you're all saying it at a different rate in your own ear, like or a different. Exactly. Saying it at the same rate but at different, same speed but at different times. You know, it's
a battle of mental fortitude. It really starts the podcast off strong. I think the fact we're able to coordinate it every time, it's a work of art.
You have to stay exactly out of sync. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. It is difficult. Well, before we move on to the rest of the show, where we do our things and answer some questions, it's time to talk about Pod Squad. Ooh. If you go to streamlabs.com/Podiots donations, donate £3 or more, you'll get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show, and you'll support us, and we'll love you forever. Thank you so much. Mikey is going to kick us off with the Pumpy Platoon.
Oh, I'd love nothing more. I was about to do a horn there, but we don't need a horn because I guess I'm Demons is first up with a very generous donation. Thank you. They say, hey guys, loving the podcast as always. It's that time of year again where I ask you to give my wife Montana a birthday shout out. Peter, please do not call her a prostitute this time, or do. What? I'm not your boss. Love you boys or girls. Sorry, Peter.
I don't remember that, and I believe that it did happen.
Such a menace.
Well, happy birthday, Montana. Having a wonderful time.
Birthday, Montana. Thank you so much for celebrating it. I'm assuming listening to this podcast all day.
Damn right.
Absolutely.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Just on repeat. Have a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh. The party continues with Stephen's...
Oh,
we're so close, Peter. So close.
Sorry.
You're getting better. Next birthdays, you're going to do it. I'm confident.
Yeah.
You'll call the next donator a whore instead of the lovely Montana. The party continues with Stephen Skodes with a generous donation, and they say, hello boys, keep up the amazing work you all do. Thanks again for the kind words on the Worst Games Ever anniversary video. I'm starting a new job soon, so I'll be able to continue to support you guys. Big love to you all. All the best. For the best boys. Thank you, Stephen.
There it is.
There it is. Thank you, and congratulations on the new job.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pro Trainer, Stukalicious, Eric Tile Des Function, Freddie Center Parks Weber, But camel case is hard to read. I got you. That was every other letter was a capital there, but I got through it.
Nice.
Father Jonathan's Pizza. Peter Borean Chain Smoker. Big Titty Jesus 42. Austin Peter Minge Eater. Lovely. A succulent Chinese walrus. And puddles of Podiots. Thank you all.
Thank you to them. In the tiny troop this week is Specky Becky. Shit names for wankers. Currently on episode 65. Cheg Chog Hedgehog Rip. Always an adventure. Mr. Black forgot if he donated. Raindrop Joy. Lord Camelcase Brotovich. Staniak fingered the Pope, who was very generous and said, been following you guess since the name redacted days. I thought it was time I joined the pod squad and ask if I could get a shout out for my wife, Niffy Cat. Niffy Cat! That was the
Niffy
shout out.
Cat.
What's up, Niffs?
What's up,
What's up,
Niffs?
Nips?
Mike is on first name terms with Niffy Cat.
Yeah.
It continues with an excellent moustache, Mikey's spiciest fart museum, Finn Tristam, Max says just like spaghetti, Don Acco 7, Wank in Aldi Middle Aisle, and Eurovision Dong Contest.
Oh, good.
Good stuff. Finally, in the fast crew, we have Mikey Likes the Dangle, Spread Cheeks, Slap Balls, Carol Voldemort, Chegg Winner of All, Basil Thrush, Boom Boom, Nobby Blobby Wanked on Noddy, Help My Bum Fell Off, Mr. Macca, Tommy the Wank Engine says, thanks MJ for helping to burn my DVD.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Using... Did you help Tommy the Wank Engine do that?
Yeah, he started a new business. He does a car boot sale where he sells pirated copies of Spider-Man 2. And
Does
Yeah.
he?
Just
Wow,
that.
yeah,
that's
it.
lucrative, that,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Using Using orphan tears as lube.
Oh, Jesus.
See, that's
Oh,
why
wow.
you need camel case. That was hard to read. Make Pod Squad wholesome again. Big Dick Johnson's greasy gunt.
Oh, God.
Just keep swimming. Ash, Prince Beefcakes, Caroline, I'm leaving you, and Scotch Bonnet Bum Ring Sting. There we are.
Jesus.
That's your Pod Squad. Aren't they an eclectic bunch?
Oh, what a...
I swear you always seem to have the worst ones.
You do!
I copy them from top to bottom, and then I just split them three ways. So Mikey gets the first chunk, Peter the middle, and then me the last.
Clearly,
So I don't know.
the last group of, or is it in reverse order?
It's
so
so it's the first.
first
It's the
bunch
first
of
after
people
the last episode.
are all
Yeah.
really, they're straight in there with their filth.
With their wank engines and.
I also like the idea that someone announces to their wife or partner that they are leaving them via the Podiots donations system.
It's a power move.
Caroline, I'm leaving you.
I'm leaving you.
We've done a proposal before, so it makes sense to have a divorce at some point.
Balances out.
All makes sense to me. So once again, that's streamlabs.com/Podiots donations, £3 or more. Get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show. Boys, would you like some questions?
Yes.
I have a question. Speaking of Tommy the Wank Engine, here, presumably he is,
Hey.
at Triggly Saride T on Twitter. Worst birthday party you ever attended?
Oh, good question.
That's a very good one. I feel there's a sad birthday party. I don't know if it was sad. I think I had fun, but I remember looking through family photo albums years ago, and there was just a picture of young me, strongest bulker ever imaginable, sat at a table by myself with a full spread of food, but no one else there.
That sounds amazing.
There's cocktail sausages, Colin the Caterpillar, there's mini rolls, there's everything, but it's just little me, and I don't think anyone else came.
Oh, no.
Oh no, was it your party?
Yeah, it was my birthday party, and
Oh, Bud.
I don't know this.
sorry.
I'm seeing my parents this weekend because we got a wedding, so I might ask them. Do you remember this really specific picture of me with a table of food? What's the story there?
We need more information on that.
I think we need to recreate that birthday party and have loads of people come, and you can have a great day.
Yeah.
You know?
If there's any time travelers listening, please go back to Mikey's birthday party and just be there for him.
Oh God! Wait, there's this tattoo just emerged on my chest. It says thanks for the great party and cheers for the Caterpillar cake. Oh, someone did make it back and
Whoa.
etched my child torso. Good, thanks.
That's... don't know if that's a good thing.
Please leave me alone.
Time traveling tattoo artist. Strange. I'm struggling to remember a bad birthday party that I attended. There was one that I didn't attend that I heard had happened with like just a certain group of friends in my year at school who were, well, this was primary school, so they were in my class, I should say. It was like 30 odd of us, and a certain group of them had got together at a swimming baths. So it had been like a swimming party, and the room upstairs in the swimming baths they'd like laid on a table of, like you say, Colin the Caterpillars and sausage rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was at school on the Monday after the weekend that this birthday party had happened, and there was like a sort of a tension in the air, and it was like, what's going on here? And all the whole class got called into a special, I mean, it wasn't really an assembly, it was just us. And the headmistress was there, and she looked really stern as we were all walking in. And I was like, what could this be about? And the boy next to me said, oh, it was a so-and-so's birthday party on the weekend. Apparently, out of nowhere, like Phil or whatever stood up and went, food fight! And they all started throwing food all over the conference room, or the party room of the swimming baths. And apparently the school took it upon themselves to have strong words with the whole class because a group of like 9 boys had a food fight at the swimming pool.
That sounds like an overreach on the school,
doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know why they
involve.
involved themselves. Like, surely the parents of the kids, like
when you're outside of school property, you represent the school. Your behaviour must be
absolutely.
exemplary.
Yeah, that was exactly
I've heard that
it.
before. What bollocks is that?
Yeah.
Such nonsense.
Yeah. So
who calls schools with complaints? I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's an easy way to fix it. It just feels like such naughty behaviour. Just call up a school and rat on a child because they're causing a bit of a nuisance or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing doing it if they're in their uniform. Like if it's 3:30 and they're on their way home and then they throw conkers at Mr. Jones's window, then maybe you do call the school and say one of your students. I recognise the uniform, but it was just some kids on like a Saturday at the swimming pool. Just throwing food, which they shouldn't have done, but surely the mum of whoever's party it was, or dad, but it was mums back then. Let's face it, should have got involved and said, "What are you doing?"
Stop it. Maybe the mums were involved.
Yeah, maybe they.
Like, fuck you, Carol.
And
just throw a sausage roll.
The teacher's like,
Carol.
Class, I've gathered you in today because I need, when you get home tonight, you need to tell off your mums for what they did.
Carol is in the hospital. She has a sausage roll allergy.
Yes.
And she's on a ventilator now.
She's neither allergic to pastry nor sausage, but combine them. Oh, she comes out in blotches.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a tiny piece of roll lodged in her nose, and the doctors can't get it out, and it's all your fault, children.
So there you go. It doesn't really answer the question, but I don't remember a memorably bad party. I'm sure I could probably rank them all from worst to best if I remembered them all, but I don't. So, yeah.
Ben?
I had one that wasn't really... The party wasn't bad, but when you're a kid and sometimes things just get way too much. You just need to have a cry.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry now. And some people still have that as adults, and all the power to you, because I think regularly crying
it's probably quite good.
Probably
for
a
you.
really good outlet.
Yeah.
Probably not enjoyable, but probably quite healthy. Some boy in my class rented out like an indoor 5-a-side football place that was basically like a basketball court / badminton court, all that sort of thing, the squeaky floor.
Sports ground.
Yeah, and then they had like a back room rented where we had the cake and stuff. And like I remember playing football. I mean, it wasn't really going very well. I was like, I'm going to score some fucking rad goals, and I didn't do it.
No.
Didn't do any goals. And then I found out that Manchester United had lost that day, and I was just like, no, I'm just going to fucking cry. I'm just going to cry.
Oh. How old were you?
So,
I'm not about to judge you.
17.
I was just curious. Yeah.
I was maybe I was maybe like 7.
Yeah.
It was primary school, and and my dad came to pick me up. I didn't cry at the time.
Yeah.
I'll point out when my dad picked me up, I was just like, my dad's here. It's time to cry.
Yeah.
And I was walking out. I remember the boy looking over like, oh fuck, what happened to Ben? He must have had a horrible time at my birthday party. And I was like, no, Man United lost and I didn't score any goals today. And that was enough. That was it.
Were you a big fan of the Reds?
The Reds. Listen to you, Michael.
The Red Devils.
Go on, you Reds.
I had to Google the
I mean, I
costume.
was as a child. My dad supports United, so
you just kind
I sort of got that through osmosis and have dropped off over the years. But yeah, it's
powerful
I just
osmosis.
took it very personally that day.
to drive a child to crying. This is what football's all about. Is
Yeah,
protecting
no,
the
John
innocence.
O'Shea did not do well enough, quite frankly.
Look at him. He's
Van Nistelrooy.
crying because of your actions. Do better.
Look what happened, huh? Not even Kate could fix this, dick. Anyway, that's that question. Who would like to do a thing?
I'll do a thing. Oh,
Yeah, go for it, Mike.
Ooh.
Let me just
flip my
adjust
currency.
my headphones because they're creaking a lot, and I'm hoping if I loosen them, they won't. We have to cut this out. I'm just walking
No,
you guys
can we
through.
get some bonus creaks while you're adjusting, please?
Let me lean into the mic. You hear that?
Discord's doing a very good job, I think.
Yeah,
of
maybe
filtering
so,
it out, but
yeah.
It might be on your file.
I mean, also,
on the final
maybe it's
version.
just, they're quite good noise cancelling headphones, and it might be that just every single creak and crack is being fed directly through the foam into my ears and isn't making it to the outside world. So,
Could be.
yeah.
Could
don't
be.
know. Anyway, that seems a bit better. But, that was just a little adventure for you, so let's continue.
oh, I love
That was fun. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
In the spring of 1947, Toronto's teenagers went on strike. On Thursday, May 2nd, 500 high school kids marched, waving placards that read, "Don't be a sucker," and "Let's all fight inflation." The public demonstration was the product of simmering resentment over a national issue, one that had galvanised youngsters from coast to coast.
Oh my god.
The price of a candy bar was too high.
Oh no! Fuck, we've been down this Fred road before.
I was going to say, why haven't we ever done this?
It's because our generation is apathetic
Yeah.
and I think resigned to the fact that we can't change anything.
They'll just allow themselves to be walked over.
We'll get rolled over and pay 15, 20p for Freddo. What is it now? How much are Freddos now? Freddo.
I don't know.
21.
I don't know, but hey, son, if you want to be able to afford that Freddo, why don't you just go around town with some CVs? Just drop them in,
Yeah.
Just drop in with
Pull
some
yourself
CVs.
up by your bootstraps.
Yes.
A single Freddo is 26 pence. That seems like an awfully
Fuck that.
unreasonable number. Make it 25.
Tell you what, if this generation didn't cry whenever Man United lost, we would probably have cheaper Freddos. Be a tougher bunch.
You never would have lasted World War II.
No, absolutely not.
And they wouldn't have survived the candy... Oh, I didn't actually think of a name for this. The candy bar protest.
The Candy Crash?
The Candy Crash. There we go. Yeah, there we go. King's Candy Crash. So this is the story of when children rose up all with one common goal, the extortionate price of candy bars.
How many students again? Sorry.
There was about 500 for the May 2nd demonstration, but there was multiple. Oh, it grew. It grew. You're about to find out. Oh. Fuck. So this wasn't all just nonsense. The kids had a point. In early April, literally overnight, the price of a standard bar of chocolate jumped 60% from 5 to 8 cents. A group of regular candy buyers in Ladysmith, British Columbia, who included a 17-year-old Parker Williams, were among the first to recoil at the added expense. They said, "We can't tolerate this. The nickel, to us, had some purchasing power. You could get your ice cream, your bottle of pop, or your chocolate bar with that thing."
Fuck.
Didn't know they said bottle of pop in America.
I think that's...
Is it Canada?
I think it's just a Canadian thing. It does feel weird. But wait, like trying to imagine like a chipper little 1950s. Get your bottle of pop, like that.
That's them. That's Canada.
That's Canada, right? From the hard streets of New York, it's Canada.
Bottle of
Hey.
pop.
I'm drinking pop here.
Hey! Williams and his friends organised a boycott of a local candy outlet, the Wigwam Cafe, and painted signs and placards that said, "Don't be a sucker." They even painted Williams's car and paraded up and down the street in it. The cute candy protest caught the attention of the Vancouver press, and the group posed for a photo outside the cafe. Several clutched soft-serve ice cream cones, which remained priced at a nickel. Take that. Can't buy chocolate, I'll buy bloody ice cream. Screw you. Remarkably, the kids' strike tactic appeared to work, thanks in part to support from sympathetic adults. I don't really know what that means. What's a sympathetic adult in regards to the plight of chocolate?
There. That's it.
There you go.
We fought in World War II.
Local store owners reported a significant dip in chocolate sales, and the media coverage inspired youngsters in other towns and cities to take up the cause as well. Downtown Vancouver stores prominently displaying 8-cent bars were chain picketed Saturday as members of the National Federation of Labour Youth carrying sandwich boards and placards paraded the business streets. That was a quote, and things are getting serious now that the National Federation of Labour Youth are involved, which I really should have Googled the name of that organisation because that sounds incredibly serious for chocolate matters. Nope.
Yeah.
They died a while ago. They're no longer a thing, sadly. Well, they didn't die. They just, I guess, after the candy wars, they petered out. That was the big cause.
They got it. Yeah, they did it.
The NFLY's backing kicked the cause into overdrive. We have proposed a national boycott, said Glyn Thomas, the 19-year-old chairman of the Vancouver branch. A communication from Toronto indicates the plan will be adopted on a Dominion-wide scale. Bicycling kids in Burnaby disrupted traffic, and a group of 200 youngsters interrupted the provincial legislature in Victoria. Some stores in Winnipeg reported a complete halt in the sale of chocolate. In Halifax, kids entered stores en masse to ask the price of the bars. I love this little tiny forms of protest, but I think it's beautiful. Junior grade kids in Regina. Regina. Is it actually Regina?
Yeah, Regina.
Regina. I've forgotten. What was it again?
Regina.
There we go. Junior grade kids in Regina walked out of classrooms and refused to return until the prices were restored.
Wow.
I have endless admiration. Toronto kids initially diverted their allowance elsewhere, leaving the 8-cent chocolate bars to gather dust on shelves. A quote, "What I'm getting kicks about is the disappearance of the 1-cent sucker," said a store owner near a Danforth school. "Now it's 2 cents. Every day the kids come in and call me Robber."
Robber.
It's doubled in price, you thief.
On Blur, I'm just going to go with Blur. It's BLOOR. So on Blur Street, on May 2nd, the candy bar war reached its zenith. At the direction of the local chapter of the National Federation of Labour Youth, students from several schools marched into Christie Pits, which is the name of a town, not a medical disorder, tucking information cards under the wipers of every parked car they passed. Their signs read, 8-cent bars, a big bite out of a sweet tooth, or knuckle down for nickel bars, and candy is dandy, but it's 8 cents ain't handy. It was very cute. Lyricists, a lot of them. In an attempt to quell the prospect of future sugar-related unrest, candy manufacturers posted advertisements in the Toronto papers explaining the reasons for the hike, citing boring reasons like manufacturing costs increasing, cocoa becoming more scarce, sugar, labour costs, all that. Boo, give us cheaper chocolate. Eventually, the protest reached the nation's capital on May 3rd, led by a group of buglers. I assume that's people who play the bugle?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, cute. 60 kids from the city's Lisgar Collegiate paraded on Parliament Hill. "We'll eat worms before we eat 8-cent chocolate bars," one sign read. And another one, 8-cent chocolate bars, phooey, said another. It's so very 40s, 50s. It's very sweet.
Isn't it?
Then, with the Bloor Street and Ottawa protests still fresh in people's minds, the Toronto Telegram dropped a bombshell that scuppered the movement for good. And this made me giggle. Citing, quote-unquote, the most reliable source, a front-page story on the 3rd of May, 1947, claimed the 8-cent candy bar campaign had been infiltrated by communists.
Oh my god.
No, it's been a knee-jerk reaction to progress
The Red
since time
Scare.
immemorial.
They're commies.
They're commies.
Ah, Jesus.
They want cheaper chocolate.
I
But will
understand.
they attack you in your sleep? No, they just want cheaper chocolate and healthcare,
it.
actually.
Yeah, no, commies, a lot of them. They don't realise it, but the indignant students innocently parading with their placards demanding a 5-cent candy bar have become another instrument in the communist grand strategy of the creation of chaos, wrote reporter L.M. McKenney. That's, Jesus Christ, there's the kids, man. Don't be screaming communists at them.
The creation of chaos.
It's good. I mean, he's got a way with words. He's very powerful, but Jesus Christ, man, put your energy elsewhere.
Every one of those 8-year-olds was bribed by Russia, I think, or the USSR. They were told.
Lenin
Go out.
airdropped in coins to keep them going and more songs.
Tiny CCC Peter. Right? Does that work?
Yeah.
Just met by complete silence from both of you. So it doesn't
I
matter.
giggled.
Let's move on.
Wow. All right. I liked it. I think it's great.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Peter.
Yeah, that's okay.
You communist.
The story accused the National Federation of Labour Youth of planting a few seeds of Marxism. One of the giveaways, McKenney said, was suspiciously well-painted placards used by children. Because the kids are good
They
at
did
art.
too good of a job with their
Gotta
sign.
be Russian meddling. The communists have eagerly grasped the situation created by the originally spontaneous protest of high school students, he wrote. Youth organisers have been instructed to use every possible means of developing and encouraging the chocolate bar agitation. No, that's the title of this story, the chocolate bar agitation.
Wow.
The sudden and bizarre accusation almost immediately derailed the candy bar campaign. Groups sympathetic to the cause began to withdraw their support, and newspaper editorials turned against the kids. And eventually, sadly, the protests fizzled out. In 2012, Parker Williams denied the movement he helped start was ever affiliated with communists. Was that 60 years later? He's still trying to prove that he wasn't a communist. But he said, "At least we didn't sit idly by and let this terrible thing happen," he told writer Tom Hawthorne. "We recognised we did have some power to make a protest." In time, the price of candy bars fell to 7 cents, but the kids never walked out on candy ever again.
And they never got a 6-cent bar ever again.
That's quite sad. Yeah,
Or
it's only
5
going
cent
to keep
bar,
going
sorry.
up.
Yeah.
Unless we have like a massive economical crash. They'll never be that low
Well,
again.
we're due one, so, you know,
Yeah.
any day now.
There you go. I think it's worth it. Screw housing and jobs. Cheap chocolate. That's where it's at.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to me ramble about communist chocolate lovers.
Thank you for telling us
Thank you,
about
Michael. That was very insightful. Learned something new today.
Damn right.
Who would like another question?
Both of us.
Me.
Okay, this is from Addy at 2addy_p on Twitter. What's the best thing you've ever got for free? And I'm talking actual things here, none of that friendship or love nonsense.
Oh,
That's a
free.
very good question. Jeez.
Free. I can kick us off if you guys want
Yes,
for a little
please.
while. Peter, you'll know what this is because I think you were alive at the time.
Right.
From my grandparents' next door neighbours, I got two cool things. One of them was a widow's penny, I think it was called.
Right.
You familiar with that?
I feel like I've heard the name, but I wouldn't know what one is off the top of my head.
I believe it was off of World War One,
Right.
and they were sent to widows of soldiers who died.
Oh, is it like a little
I
medal
believe.
thing?
Yeah, but it's quite big actually. It's like
Ah.
the size of your hand with fingers outstretched. Just a big like bronze. It may be made out of something special,
I'm going to look for a picture.
sort of medallion type thing. And I spotted it at my my grandparents' neighbour's house, and I was like, that looks really cool. And the next day they brought it over and gave it to me because it turns out it wasn't theirs. It was gifted to them a while back because one of the neighbours was a major, a retired major
Oh, wow.
in the armed forces. Who, you know, served across all of those good old days of the British just being everywhere they shouldn't be in the 50s and so on, in the 40s.
No, I'm not really aware of
and
these.
so
I'm
on and so
looking at a
forth.
picture now. I've not really...
Oh, really?
I mean, it doesn't surprise
Surprise.
me that they were given them, but I wouldn't have known necessarily that these are a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got one of those. And they also gave me an onyx, as in the mineral onyx, not the Pokemon, chess set.
Whoa.
Which
Wow.
It was so shiny and it looked amazing, and I promptly put the chessboard down on the bed that I was sleeping in at my grandparents and sat on it and snapped it in half.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Ben.
Dear.
Yeah. Guess what I did after that?
Not tell them.
No, I fucking cried again.
Of course, yeah.
just cried. So did a cry, and then my granddad, ever the handyman, glued it to some wood underneath,
Right.
so like it had a solid base again and was sort of fixed. But yeah, that was an impressive turnaround of a gift broken and ruined.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was like an old person, I gave something to a kid and they broke it. I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised, but like, oh well, I guess it had some fun.
That's that.
Yeah, I guess that.
It had some fun being sat on before it. Yeah, I think that's why I cried, is because I was sort of humiliated and sad. You know, like, oh man, they trusted me with that, and I just went and sat on it and broke it.
Yeah, that's always the worst feelings when you break something and you're like, oh, I can't hide this either. I've got to fess up.
Yeah, I've got
probably
to go talk
belonged-
to someone.
It probably belonged to the dead major.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe. I mean, he was alive at the time.
Oh.
But
Well,
yeah.
who was the widow? Oh, he got it from someone else, did he?
Yeah, so he received it from someone else,
see.
and yeah, then they gave it to me after.
And when you sat on it, it unleashed the demon spirit that now haunts the house to this day.
I know, some soldier, some dead World War One soldier, still haunts my grandparents' home.
Have you got an answer, Mikey? I'm still trying to think. I mean, I can obviously think of just like good Christmas gifts I've got, but you know, I'm not.
In the universe of things that I didn't have to pay for but got to do was 2018. Got to go to TwitchCon to San Diego, and that was cool. No, was it 2018? It was 2019. 2018 was Vidiots time, wasn't it? Jesus. Wait, was it?
Would have been
2019
2019.
was Vidiots, wasn't? Oh, I don't know.
2018 was Vidiots. 2019 was Triple Jump year one.
Year one,
Which would
you're
have been
right,
year
it
one
was,
of your
yeah.
job, Mikey. So
Yeah, well, it must have been 2019 then. But yeah, got to fly out San Diego for work, did some worky things, enjoyed it, had a great time. Then obviously the next year, the whole bloody world shut down, which made it even more of a valuable experience. And that was probably like the last normal TwitchCon for a little while.
Yeah.
That made it nice. That was a good time. All paid for on the company card. Cheers. Because
nice.
I had to do a little bit of work.
I when I was 7 or 8, you know, the sort of the years where you cry at things.
yes, I know them well.
When you get overwhelmed. Yeah, there was a circus in town, and nowadays, you know, much like how I really enjoyed going to SeaWorld when I was about 10, you know, I look back and I'm like, well, that wasn't nice. That's like a really sad orca being made to jump. And likewise, you know, most circuses now in the UK, you can't have quote unquote wild animals. You can't have elephants and tigers and lions and stuff. I think they can still have like horses and dogs and things, but you know, it's better now than it was because circuses probably not that great. But you know, back then I really wanted to go to see this circus. You know, I thought it sounded really cool, and my brother was able to go because his friend was going to the circus, and my brother had been invited to go with them. So I was like, oh no. So he went from school that evening, and my grandma came to pick me up from school. My sister was in the car, and I was like, yeah, he got to go to the circus. That's a shame. And on the way home, we stopped at the butcher's to get some tea. And when we went in there, the butcher had some circus tickets that he was selling. Because I guess the circus had just been round to various local businesses and said, do you want to buy some tickets from us to sell to your customers? So we managed to get 2 or 3 last minute tickets to get to this circus, which was pretty cool. And we went there, and there was a raffle on as well at the kind of like half time interval. And I had a solitary £1 in my pocket to buy a raffle ticket with. And I bought the raffle ticket, and then I ended up winning the raffle with my one ticket out of everyone in the circus, which, I mean, I guess thinking about it, as I told that story, I did pay £1 for the ticket.
You did, but you got access to the venue for free.
I got access to the venue for free because my grandma bought it for me, and then when I got there, I paid a single £1, and out of everyone in the whole tent, I was invited to walk down to the ring, and the clown, who, I mean, clowns are kind of creepy, but this one wasn't. He was not particularly creepy. Handed over, it was like a big black teddy bear, and my brother and his friend saw me just walk. They didn't even know I was there. They had no idea that we'd got some last minute tickets, and they just saw me march down to the ring and win the raffle prize. And they like ran around and said hello. And I really loved that bear because not only was it a memory of a very happy day where I got to go to the circus and I saw a man like balancing on like 6 barrels stacked on top of each other, and another guy whipping a lion. Oh, great. Fantastic
great time.
Stuff. Yeah. But not only that, it smelled of like sawdust and candy floss for about 3 years after. Like,
Wow, nice.
it smelled of the circus in a really nice way. And so I was able to like go to bed, and the teddy bear was always like in the corner of my bed. And if I ever wanted just to be whisked back to the circus, I could have a little sniff. Come a little closer. I can fucking smell it. I can smell it on your bear.
Fucking did you?
Whisked back to the circus with my sawdusty bear that I got sort of for free.
Oh,
So
Amazing.
I don't know if it's the best thing I've ever got, but it's up there. It's a happy
fond
memory.
memory.
Yeah.
I feel like a fool. All these nice, heartfelt stories, and I went to another country for free. I'm like scanning my room. I must have a bit of memorabilia somewhere, but I've got a big stack. I need to tidy up my room. I'm just looking around, and my room is just covered in newspaper, and it kind of looks like that scene in a film where someone's gone mad and there's newspapers everywhere.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my room is like. God, it's just bloody everywhere. I never really realised, because we use newspaper for the ferrets to poop on, and so Claudia, like once a year, will go visit a nan, and old people being old people, she just reads like 3 newspapers a day. So
Yeah.
she'll fill the boot with them, give them.
Get Twitter, Gran.
Get with it. You don't need all this paper.
Away, man.
Away, nan. Sorry, that was me. I just had that horrible realization of just how much newspapers in my room. Sorry.
That's how you got it for free.
You got it for free,
That's
exactly.
the
Got it for
best
free. There you go.
thing I've ever received.
Honourable mentions to various amazing bits of tat we got sent at Vidiots.
Yeah,
Billy
absolutely.
Clay
I was just
Walrus.
thinking that.
Or was he might have even been What Culture.
He was What Culture, yeah. that
Signed photos of Dick and Dom and
Neil
Dave Benson
Buchanan.
Phillips, Dear Peter, Ben and Mikey, or whatever it was.
Oh,
That was great. Yeah, so all those things too.
yeah. We're also such generous, wonderful people. Thank you.
one. Generous bunch, aren't they? Yeah. Fucking nice, aren't they? Real nice,
Bloody
aren't they?
good lot, them.
Peter?
Breaking poos!
Oh!
This is according to The Sun.
Boo!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mid to late July, this story comes from. It's written by Hannah Carter. Poo Bomber, 50, who has plagued neighbours' lives for 25 years, is banned from urinating and defecating in public. As though that wasn't banned beforehand, you know?
It's PC culture gone mad.
Isn't it just?
Oh, he's got an aspo instead of an aspo.
An aspo.
Yeah.
Very good.
I tried.
There's a little sort of pun headline before that major headline. It's sort of like a well, I don't know, but it just says turd immunity, and then says the headline, which is great.
Brilliant.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So here we go. A woman who, quote, poo-bombed her neighbour's property as part of a 25-year harassment campaign has been banned from, quote, urinating or defecating in any open space. Cops successfully applied for a criminal behaviour order against 50-year-old Amanda Lee. There is a photo of Amanda Lee, which I will send to you now. She is not doing a poo. It's safe. There she is.
Very excited.
Oh, wow.
She
There
looks
she is.
sad to have been caught.
She looks really tired.
Yeah.
She's got 2 hearts tattooed next to her eye, and each heart represents a poo she's done in the garden.
Yeah, it's like a prison tattoo.
Yeah.
A heart is pooed in garden. Lee of Crewe, Cheshire, has 15 convictions stretching from 1996 to 2018. These include incidents of antisocial behaviour, harassment, and public order offences. Now, police have obtained an order which bans her from engaging in certain behaviour, including urinating and defecating outside. Cheshire Police also accused her of repeatedly causing trouble and making nuisance 999 calls. If she breaches the conditions, the lout could face up to 5 years in prison.
Whoa.
South Cheshire Magistrates Court imposed the CBO to hearing this week. The 5 conditions included a ban on possessing booze in an open container within an exclusion zone and curbs on abusive language. Aren't all of these things already illegal? I don't really understand this. But fine.
We've made it extra illegal for her and just her.
Yeah. The order also aims to stop Lee from ringing the police unless she has a genuine reason. I'm just going to scroll ahead to see if there's any context as to why she's been specifically banned from pooing and urinating in a public area. No, there isn't. That's basically it. So There you go. A woman has been banned from shitting in the street. It's okay if you guys want to do it. You've not been banned from it yet, so go nuts.
Oh my god, that's quality journalism.
Why haven't they
shit posting, isn't it?
Oh, very good.
Very good.
Why you can't write an article like that and not tell us why specifically she's. Why is it poo bombed? Poo bomber. I just expected there to be context, and there isn't.
Explain it to us. It's so much of the Sun's journalism, and I say that with all of the irony possible in the world, is just designed to be shared on Facebook without anyone clicking on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just like for people to see the headline and go, "Oh my god, poo bomber!" and then that's it.
I mean, that's basically what I did here.
Well,
right.
yeah, I suppose so, but you dove into it. You've, I think, exposed the corrupt core as if it needed any more exposing.
I do actually really like the final line, I've just noticed. Anyone who encounters her breaching the terms of her CBO is asked to report it to Cheshire Police by calling 101. Just on the off chance that you see her taking a piss on the pavement or something.
She's doing it again.
She's pissing. Quick,
Find the
get
police.
Here. Oh my god.
There you go, just a little bit of breaking poos there. I thought it's been a while since I did one, so that was the most recent story that I could come up with for you.
Thank you for the poos, Peter.
You're welcome.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. I'm searching for other versions of the article, mainly just to see what comments there are.
Yeah. Meet the poo bomber, a woman who shoplifts, then defecates. Oh, it's loading the.
Meet the poo bomber.
Meet the poo bomber, like some sort of Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, sequel. Meet the poo bomber, a woman who shoplifts, then defecates in the store before leaving. Oh, so that's what she does. The self-proclaimed kleptomaniac, who experts claim gets such a rush of adrenaline from shoplifting that she loses control of her bowels and defecates in the shop she steals from.
She's not a very good shoplifter then, is she? She's leaving DNA everywhere.
This is someone else. This is a story from 2017. It's a different poo bomber.
There can't be more than
there's
one poo
separate poo bombers?
Yeah, this is someone else completely. Her victims so far have included Best and Less Mittagong, where she stole $173 worth of clothes. The police fact sheet states the woman stood still with her legs partially apart between a row of display stands.
So that'll do it.
The accused has looked around before shaking her buttocks and flicking part of her dress near the buttock region, the document said.
God.
No, I don't want to. That was way more descriptive. They just described how to go to the toilet. Mm-hmm. We know how to do that.
It is at this time that the accused has defecated on the shop floor before walking away. The woman then took possession of a tea towel and used it to wipe her buttocks before throwing it under a display stand, the document said.
Well, at least she cleaned up a little bit. And made a mess in the process, but...
This is a way better article. Another victim included Shop Pharmacy in Campbelltown Mall, where police documents said the woman, quote, went into the squat position and caused a, quote, dysfunction. Dysfunction in aisle 3, forcing the shop to close for an hour until it was cleaned up.
Dysfunction.
Oh, God.
Oh,
It's natural.
me.
It shouldn't be labelled a dysfunction. It's a normal bodily action.
Yeah, I mean,
Do
clearly
it at
that
home.
she evidently that, but you've got to have, obviously some kind of mental health issue there to be doing that. So there's a limit to how much amusement one should gain from that. But the write up is quite something, if nothing else.
Stunning. Stunning.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
Well, thank
There
you,
you go.
Peter.
Two poo stories for you there. Hope you
What a
enjoyed.
deal.
Wow, so good. So many more than I was anticipating hearing today.
Yeah,
so
a
that's
number 2.
nice. Yes, there it is. Let's move on to another question. This is from the Vidiots Stan account at Vidiots on Twitter. What's the most grandpa/grandma thing you do?
Oh.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I mean, where do I
man.
start? Jesus.
Peter, do you want to begin like when you were born, or like where do we jump in with you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been away for a few days, and what we tend to do if we're doing a journey that's more than 2.5 hours, if it's 3 hours or more, we will stop at a National Trust place on the way, purely to break up the journey and because we can. So
That sounds delightful. Yeah.
yeah, well, yesterday on our drive home, we stopped at East Riddlesden Hall in Bradford, or in Riddlesden, I suppose, and we fed the ducks with duck food that you can buy for 50p. We went to the tea room and had a cup of tea and a Victoria sponge cake and a wander around the gardens.
That sounds idyllic.
It was very nice. And when, if you've got a 3-hour drive ahead of you, it's nice to think that after an hour and a half you'll be stopping for tea and cake. So I mean, that's one thing I do. Something I used to do but I don't do anymore that's very granddad is wear bed socks.
Oh my God! What age were you when you started doing this?
And I don't just mean I wore my socks in bed. I mean,
You had special socks.
I had some actual they were like slipper socks. They weren't. I think bed socks are even within that are their own thing. But I had really thick, fluffy, nice slipper socks.
Yeah.
Do you have like circulation issues then? Like, what was this? Or was it
No,
fashion?
I think it was just I used to wear them all the time, like slipper socks. They have like the little pads to stop you slipping on laminated floors and stuff. So you're wandering around the house in some cozy socks, maybe in the winter. And I think maybe it started that perhaps I'd been getting into bed and my feet were cold, or the bed was cold, and so I'd just leave the socks on, and then I started just sort of sleeping in them more and more to the point that I wouldn't wear them in summer or anything, but maybe for 6 months of the year I would just sleep in quote unquote bed socks or slipper socks. I don't know if there's a difference, but nice thick socks that you would not wear with shoes on, and you wear them in bed or around the house.
We should have made you go last, really, because there's absolutely no way either Mikey or I could ever match those.
How can
those
you
are just
top
the
bed socks?
Those are just the two that came to mind. That's one thing I did yesterday, and something that I used to do that I know is quite granddaddy. I still have kind of house socks that I wear, but I don't wear them in bed anymore. But yeah, I'll continue to think while you guys go, see if I can really knock it out the park. But there you go. Those are my answers.
I think the bed socks are that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really big one. Can you think of any, Mikey?
I'm pulling up a total blank. I think maybe I don't know if this is an old person thing, but I really respect queues and order in certain scenarios at least. Fuck shit up in your own time, but when we're here queuing, don't cut in, or I will tut and give you side eye really intensely, and it just grinds my gears.
As you should, man.
What else do I do that's old? No, I was going to say I eat old people food, but that's a lie. I think I'm just trying to lie to up my old man creds and match Peter.
I'm trying to think. I match up all of my socks with their original, partner when I'm taking them off the era. I don't know if that's a particularly old person thing.
That's just what I do. Is that an old person thing?
Well, I don't know. I didn't used to do this. This is a development for me.
There's some things that I
Could
probably
imagine.
don't know whether they're old person things because it's just another thing that I
Just
do. And,
ingrained. Yeah,
I'm like, well, that's
I don't
normal,
leave
isn't it? Bed
Things to
socks.
soak in the whatever the fuck it's called, the sink. I always wash up everything and put it on the draining board, all nice. Again, I don't know if that's being
soaking stuff.
organised or just an old person thing. I'm trying to. I don't know. I like lavender. Lavender's pretty
Lavender's
nice,
an
like
old
on
person thing,
as an essential oil on your pillow. I don't do it very often, but that's nice.
Nice treat.
Yeah.
So when did you start pairing your socks, Ben? Because I always remember quite distinctly, you've always been an odd sock man.
Odd
Yeah,
socks.
this is a new development. Ben's
Yeah,
wearing
this
socks
is-
now.
This is PV post Vidiots.
You've got your shit together now.
Yeah, I really did. I think I threw out a lot of socks and then just bought new socks, and I was like, okay,
Nice.
you gotta do this properly, Ben. You're a grown ass man. Stop
Was that
wearing
purely-
one Rick and Morty sock and one stripy sock.
Was that purely a just an epiphany you had of your own volition, or was there help or suggestions from a partner in your life? Was it like, because sometimes you need your partner to tell you, hey, you can't do this anymore. You are 20 whatever. There've been things like that in my life that I've done. You know, I've had to stop wearing young people clothes.
Yeah,
Doesn't fit you, Peter. Which is weird because you're so small.
Well, even just the style, like, you know, I don't wear as many kind of logo T-shirts anymore, and I mean I do, but I think there's kind of a grading to it, and
Well, you don't
I'd
have,
probably
like,
still be wearing like a T-shirt over the top of a long sleeved top at this rate if I hadn't been told not to. So
Oh, that's fashionable, Peter. Do it.
I know,
you
yeah,
can wear that.
I can if I want
That's
to.
fine. Yeah, to answer your question, I don't think it was my partner didn't say anything about it. I don't believe, but she did ridicule me on a few occasions for
Wow.
the odd socks. But I don't think it was that. It just changed one day. Like I don't wear clothes, as you say, with logos on, apart from work clothes because they're free
Yeah, of
and they're
course.
relevant to being on camera. I stopped wearing hoodies almost completely. Like I never wear hoodies outside anymore. Sometimes I'll wear one at home, but like I don't. Hoodies used to be a big part of my wardrobe, and now they're
Yeah,
not.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're slowly evolving into grandpa. With,
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of
each
people will be
hoodie,
listening
each
to this and thinking, that's tame as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, give us
I was
your
trying to think
best
of-
grandpa things, people listening. I'm curious now.
Yeah, that should be the question at the end.
Oh, we've done the question in the middle, not at the end. What?
I know, well, spoilers.
heck. We'll get there.
I've tried to think of any more, but like I struggle. Sometimes I find it difficult to separate. There are things that I know that, as a general rule, people of my demographic don't do, and like my peers. But it's not necessarily an age thing. Like, for example, we're quite partial to a scented candle when we're just chilling in the evening and watching TV.
lovely.
But that's not necessarily a granddad thing. It might be just more of a. It might be typically maybe a more female thing than a male thing, or I don't know. So it's difficult to parse it sometimes.
Do you carry around a little cloth handkerchief with you at all times?
I don't actually.
Aw,
My dad's a
Hankies are
hanky man.
disgusting. Yeah,
Yeah,
so's
I
my
don't like
dad.
hankies,
They're
yeah.
so unhygienic.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
No,
vivid
I've never
memories
been
of
a
my
hanky boy.
vivid memories of my granddad whipping out his hanky from his pocket, giving it a good old blow, and then just shoving it right back in that pocket.
Yeah,
To,
the best bit is when they offer it to you, and it's like, no, I don't
Yeah.
want this snot rag. Why would you
I
offer
know.
that to me?
Why? What? Yeah, people do offer it, and sometimes they offer it, and they feel the need to say, "Oh, I've got a hanky. It's clean. It's
I don't
clean."
I don't care.
Yeah.
I
Jeez.
don't care. It doesn't matter to
it.
me.
Leave me alone.
That hanky's haunted with the things that it has contained. Don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for my thing.
Okay. Please.
I'm going to
please
start
sting
off
us.
with this. Here we go. Poor Claire, or Claricine, or Clarice, or any member of the Franciscan Order of St. Clare, if you want to get alternative name about this, is a Roman Catholic religious order of nuns founded by St. Clare of Assisi in 1212. the Poor Clares are considered the second of the three Franciscan orders. Because each convent of Poor Clares, it feels weird to say, is largely autonomous, practices have varied greatly, but generally the Poor Clares are regarded as one of the most austere women's orders of the Roman Catholic Church, devoted to prayer, penance, contemplation, and manual work, and usually adopting the strictest enclosure, severe fasts, and other austerities. So that's just sort of setting the groundwork there. For this article, from, I believe, the 21st of March 1990.
Whoa.
And the title is Nuns Sell Up and Move Out.
Okay.
It's by John Fraser, in Brussels, it says. This is a screenshot of a newspaper. A group of Belgian nuns with a taste for the high life has sold their convent in boring Bruges and moved to a sunny chateau in the south of France. Police are now on the trail of 8 nuns of the Poor Sisters of Clara who received nearly £1 million for their 600-year-old convent building.
Oh.
What?
The building, in the centre of the historic Flanders city, has been sold to property developers. Part of the proceeds was invested in a chateau in Tarbes, in the sunny foothills of the French Pyrenees. An investigating judge from Bruges has flown there to question the 8 newly rich Poor Sisters of Clara. He is investigating reports that some of their newfound wealth has been spent on some racehorses, a £60,000 Mercedes car, and a farm. The nuns, led by 61-year-old Sister Anna, were last seen leaving Bruges in a convoy of 2 cars and an ambulance. The ambulance was for frail 93-year-old Sister Agnes, the oldest of the group. Vatican lawyers and property developers are still arguing over whether the nuns were entitled to sell their convent. Legally, the nuns may have been within their rights to dispose of this property, said Mr. Peter Rossell, spokesman for the Bishop of Bruges, but they failed to ask permission from the Vatican first, and this could make the sale null and void. The bishop was most amazed when he was told they had suddenly decamped. We don't know what possessed them. Perhaps they wanted a bit of sun and warmth in their old age. The convent is certainly rather big for 8 people, and it's too expensive to heat it properly. That's great. Police are investigating suggestions that the convent was sold to a property company for a fraction of its real value. The Belgian legal investigation is centred on the convent's former caretaker and odd-job man, Mr. Ronnie Crabbe, 35. Police are investigating allegations that he... How many times can they say police are investigating? Allegations that he accepted money from the nuns for his help in the transaction. Legal sources in Bruges said last night the sale itself appears to have been legal, even if the Catholic bishop disapproved of it. Under Belgian law, the nuns had a legal right to the convent and its contents when they were living there. They bought their new French chateau, which lies between Tarbes and the Holy Centre of Lourdes, about 2 years ago. Police believe they got the money by selling art treasures and religious relics from the convent. 3 racehorses were also bought in the convent's name.
Crazy.
Wow. It continues that. 50 years ago, they would never have defied their bishop in case they would go to hell, said a Belgian journalist. But the spirit of female emancipation has even penetrated the nunnery walls.
Oh, no. Feminism's at it again. Oh, no.
So that's the basic gist. This article did the rounds a few weeks ago on Twitter. And when you Google it, you can't really find a great deal of information, but I did manage to find seemingly a follow-up article from UPI.com that sort of discusses what happened to Mr. Ronnie Crabbe, who was being investigated, their handyman. So here we are. The advisor to aging nuns who sold their convent for $1.4 million and left in a Mercedes for the south of France was freed from jail on Friday, saying the sisters knew exactly what they were doing. Ronnie Crabbe had been accused of conning the 8 nuns into selling the Order of the Poor Clares convent in Bruges. His release after 39 days in jail shows it was a trumped-up case all along, his lawyer said. The nuns wanted the proceeds from the convent to go to their families rather than the church after they all died, so they changed the statutes of the convent, lawyer Clive van Aerden said. Under the old bylaws, the Diocese of Bruges would have received the property and goods of the convent after the death of all the sisters, aged 62 to 93. The nuns changed the bylaws several months ago and sold the convent to textile firms, said the lawyer, who spoke for Crabbe at a news conference outside the jail in Ghent. Most of the sisters rode last month to their new home in France in a $110,000 Mercedes limousine. The 93-year-old nun who cannot see, hear, or walk tailed behind in an ambulance, which is a visual that I really enjoy. The lawyer charged that church officials used their powers to provoke a criminal inquiry because it wants a reason for a civil trial to obtain the goods of the convent, or what's left of it. A spokesman for the Bishop of Bruges denied the accusation. The church has never wanted the goods of that convent, the spokesman said. The bishop was only interested in the welfare of the sisters. Sure.
Of course.
The lawyer
I bet they're pretty well off, to be honest. I wouldn't worry about them. They're probably okay.
Their welfare's pretty good.
Yeah.
The lawyer for Crabbe said he read in investigatory files a deposition given in the south of France by one of the elderly nuns, Sister Josephine, whom he described as very clear of mind, not senile. She declared to the police that she knew her convent was on a list where the bishop didn't allow any new nuns to come in, the lawyer said. So she said, why should we just let it bleed to death and let the diocese get all the goods back? The bishop's spokesman said one problem in the modern-day church is a lack of young women wishing to join the sisterhood, but maintained the Order of the Poor Clares could still have been around for a while. But why the 6 showy cars, considering that none of the nuns can drive? They wanted them, so they bought them, Crabbe's lawyer said. It's as simple as that. That's why this whole inquiry is so silly. And there we
Endless
are.
respect for these ladies.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
nuns who were just like, done being a fucking nun. This is legally ours. Gonna sell it. Fuck off. The church is
France.
like, they must have been conned. There's no way they'd do this. And then the nuns are like, actually, yes.
Yeah, we
there,
did.
There is. We bought some racehorses, some cars, a chateau,
Fleet of
and a farm.
cars
So
and an ambulance.
fuck you all.
God.
And there we
Love
are.
it.
That
That
is
is
the
incredible.
story of the Bruges Poor Clares convent who upped sticks and moved to the south of France.
That is so good. Wow. That, like you said, that mental image of a frail old lady leaving this town in
They
the back
didn't
of
want to
an
leave her
ambulance.
behind, so they put her in an ambulance so she's safe, but they all drove there in a Mercedes limousine that they bought.
This is what sisterhood's all about.
Yeah, sisters are doing it for themselves. What does it say?
Really sad
It
there's
was
not any pictures of them. That's really upsetting.
the spirit of female emancipation has even penetrated the nunnery walls.
Oh.
My goodness me. And when nuns are thinking for themselves, you know that society's going to collapse.
What next? Other women?
There we are. That's my thing.
Big
Let's
fan.
move on to
Great
the
name.
final question from Paul at Paul Zaremba 16, who says, if you were able to retire right now, this is somewhat appropriate actually, with a literal mountain of funds, what would you do with the rest of your days? Daily Podiots? Fucking no. Twice weekly worst games on your other channel? No. Bring back memory cards? Maybe. Or maybe just relax. K, love you, bye. What would you do if you had unlimited funds and could retire tomorrow?
God.
Oh.
I'd buy a big bit of land somewhere and learn how to build a house.
Yeah.
I think like building some kind of wood cabin would be quite fun, but I've got all the time in the world, so I start small, make little boxes, and as time goes on, these boxes get bigger and bigger until they're the size of a house, and then I live in it, and that's my rich
a
goal.
house-sized box.
Lovely.
I think genuinely just having the freedom to do whatever. I'd do carpentry. Sounds fun as hell. I think that's that's something I really want to try. And
Yeah, woodworking is a cool skill.
Yeah, I always thought that as well.
Your
Maybe I'd try
granddad
it
was is a woodworking genius wizard, right, Peter? I think have you mentioned that before?
Yeah, I don't remember mentioning it, but he is he's very good at that. He wasn't like professionally one. He just picked it up over years of, doing it partly as a hobby and partly as a necessity. And the house that they had, and he built a little Wendy house for me and my sister when we lived next door, and we were like 5 years old-ish. He didn't build it out of a plan or buy it from a catalogue. He just designed what he was going to do and built this like tiny little house that we could play in. And then when we got older and obviously didn't play in that anymore, he converted it into a hen house, which then went into their field, and he kept chickens in it. So
Oh my
he's
God.
a dab hand,
Nice.
really. So I've always thought that I've like seen him doing that and thought, oh yeah, that looks good. And he doesn't do as much sort of carpentry or joinery, but he really likes a lathe now, which is one of those things where it spins around a block of wood and then you like hold a chisel against it and it like shaves it off. You've probably seen like videos of it on the internet and stuff. It's like oddly satisfying things, and you see all the little bits of sawdust come off. So he makes like bowls, and he made a breadboard for us and stuff. So yeah, I think that'd be nice.
I think that'd be quite fun, just to become self-sufficient, make your own shit, and that's it. I don't know why you have to be rich to do that, but I guess you do.
Well, it's funny you should mention my granddad, actually, because if money was no object, one thing I'd really like to do is actually buy their house back. Not specifically
kick them out.
No. I mean, like not. So they moved house not so long ago, and that house has been in the family for about 3 generations. And it used to be one big house, and then when my parents got married and they had my older brother for 2 years, and then I was born, and they were thinking, oh, we need a new house. And my grandparents actually split their house down the middle. They like partitioned it, and it became essentially a semi-detached house. So then we lived in next door to my grandparents for years, and then we moved out, but then they remained in the house for a long time, and they lived in it for probably 60 years or something in total. And then they had to sell it recently because it was just too big for them, and it was like kind of up in the kind of the wilds, and the snow can be bad and stuff, and they were getting older, and it's not practical anymore. But like if money was no object, I'd probably buy that house and try and buy the next door bit as well from where it was partitioned, because that just got sold to another family eventually. And I just live in that house and do it up and get a gardener in who can do the garden better than I can, because I can't do that at all. And maybe me and Mikey will just do woodwork in that house. Sounds good.
Lovely. We'll redo the entire house with our own custom-made furniture, and it'll be a delight.
That sounds really lovely. I would take a gap year.
Yeah,
I never did one of those. I would pay someone to organise a round-the-world trip for me so that I could stop off. I'd like to visit every continent. I'd like to just go and see things. But I wouldn't retire. I would stay employed.
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't retire.
I'd like to keep working and then just have a nicer quality of life in general. Buy the place that I live in, eat the more expensive food,
get the Heinz beans,
the branded beans. Try to take a good holiday each year to a nice place, and sort out my family and friends.
Just having that nice cushion, which makes everything a lot less scary and treacherous.
Yeah, exactly. I would financially unburden my friends and family to the extent that I was able to do so, and then invest the rest. Maybe buy a couple of places to rent out so my money makes money, and that sort of stuff. Maybe offer some money up to Cultaholic Ventures LLC and buy into that, because that's a good company that's going places, and I would like to, offer them a cash injection if I was suddenly able to do that, for example. But that would be it, really.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to retire. I'd want to be doing...
Too early to retire, for sure.
Doing stuff.
Lose your mind.
You would lose your mind. Even people who really where this really does happen to them and they win the lottery, they either you hear quite often that people will either just stay in their job that they're already doing because they love it, or maybe if they don't like that job in itself, they'll then go and just start volunteering like 4 or 5 days a week somewhere because they just need something to do like that. So
well, there we are. That's all the questions. Sorry, Mikey, were you about to say something else? I don't want to cut you off there.
No, I just said lovely.
Lovely. Yeah, we've all heard it now. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. That's the questions. That's the things. Who would like to hear what's coming out / came out on Vidiots 2-3 years ago?
Yes, please.
This next fortnight. We've got, for duck's sake, Vanilla Minecraft episode 12, work on the Omega Swan / Duck is nearing completion for Peter. as the gang discusses what level of crime the royal family could ... Boy, that sounds intriguing. You better go watch it. Better go and watch it. We've also got Sliding on Blood, Fairy Tale Fights.
Oh, yeah.
God, our thumbnails really have stepped up at this point onwards. There's some really creative stuff happening. This is a very violent one we definitely couldn't get away with now. There's so much blood on the thumbnail. It's horrible. Smash that F button. Worms Revolution. Did that one. Happy Birthday Owen is a private video. It's had 43 views somehow.
Wow.
Hope you had a good birthday though, Owen.
I hope you had a good viewing session of that
You
video.
enjoyed it.
Everyone watched it 43 times on
So many times. Binging with Babish, 5 tasty recipes for your Switch cartridge. I thought that was a great video, and it didn't get 5 million views, so it was a failure.
It was a weird tension in the build up to that video. It was like, fuck, we need more views. We need to do something big, something fun. And it was like, this is it. We're gonna this feels like a good, funny idea. And this has a chance, and then it didn't. And it was like, well, that's the death sentence for Vidiots then, isn't it?
I'm going to parody it. I'm going to parody Binging with Babish.
My main takeaway from that video is just literally the opening line is where... I'm not saying... I mean, it's an incredible video, but I would say it peaks in the very opening line, which is, welcome Bach to Benji.
Oh, yeah.
As you move a picture of Bach away
There's a
from
Bach on the
screen.
iPad that get... Yeah. That's the sort of level of highbrow humour that Vidiots was renowned for, along with the farts right next to each other. So yeah, that's a great video. Go watch it. Post Some Tat number 26, the ultimate tat. Don't know. That's it. We've 100%ed Post Some Tat. That's it. That's the description. I don't know. How intriguing. Again, you'll have to go watch to find out why that's the ultimate tat.
Wonderful.
A VOD of a Vidiots live stream. We happy for you. When we played that, we sure did.
We definitely did the playing of the game.
Yeah.
Becoming Beautiful, Barbie Makeover Magic Part 1. Prove it.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Typically, this got more views than the live action finale because we did
Why?
2 Let's Plays and then, because that's how YouTube works. Worst games ever, B-movie game. You like Jones?
Good one.
Indiana Bones, Vanilla Minecraft Episode 13. 3-headed Oscar winner, U-Star 2.
Hey.
I think
That's
we
the
all
one
wore a
where we
massive
all get
shirt.
inside the shirt. Yeah.
Oh, God. How big was that shirt? That was a monster.
It was really big. It was like quadruple XL in American sizes as well. It was a very large shirt. Becoming Beautiful, Barbie Makeover Magic Part 2. Podiots Episode 13, Spook Ronto. Post Some Tat number 27, Miley's Special Toys. I don't know what that means.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a little worrying. Barbie Makeover Magic in real life, live action finale, less views than the first one. Good stuff. We made Mikey look even more beautiful in 2
Fond
different
memories
styles.
of me scrubbing my skin off in the Yogg's bathroom for that one.
You were a real trooper.
Why did we choose the permanent makeup?
I don't know, because it was from Poundland and it was.
Oh, God, that was right. We went to Poundland for a little trip and got everything we needed from there.
We
Quality.
sure did. We sure did. And finally, Worst Games Ever, 3D Pets Volume 1. This is where we try to quote-unquote mod the game by just fucking with the source files. Yeah, we did. We wanted to change the intro so it said Stoke-on-Trent when you started it up. But we did manage to fuck with the pet files so that the dogs look like they've been drawn all over.
Yeah, but then again, that's one that peaks right at the end, actually, rather than right at the start, where we play a whole game of Worst Games Ever, and it's very good at where we mess around with the assets, but then just as we're doing the wrap-up, the dog just pisses all over the floor and lies down in it and goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
good
brilliant.
stuff. I've just realised we didn't add anything to the thread this week on Twitter. There's just Dave stood maybe not wearing pants, and
It
I
speaks for itself.
hope everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But there we are. That is what came out. Mikey, I believe there's a store.
Do you want me to just add in the picture of Dave again to the thread?
Yeah, should we just
Yeah.
double up? Can it be slightly zoomed in?
Yeah, I can.
Just to come a little closer, son.
Wait, how do you want it zoomed in? Because if I zoom in, we go. Do I just zoom in on the legs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll just do a little bit. I'll chop off around the nip. There you go.
around the nip. Yeah,
Around the nip.
Dave
that's
nips
it.
and Phillips.
There we go. Oh, that's horrifying. Maybe when you look at this in a thread, it'll look like the bottom and
there
top
it
half
is.
of the image.
Yeah, it's just a man in his pants. And
Sorry, Dave.
that's good. That's a really good Dave. Yeah, Mikey, tell us about the store.
Oh, store.yogscast.com is a wonderful, magnificent, beautiful place with lots of brilliant t-shirts, hugs. Yes, hugs. I meant to say hoodies and mugs, but I combined them into a hug. But the best hug you can buy is from Vidiots on the Vidiots section of the site, where we've got big hugs, small hugs, long hugs, short hugs, every kind of hug you can need. And even better, if you don't like paying full dollar for your hugs, you can use discount code VIDIOTS at checkout for 10% off absolutely everything on the Yogscast store. Every single thing on that shop, you can get 10% off with code VIDIOTS. Do it now. Thank you.
Do it. You gotta do it. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.com, all/Vidiots Official. We're also on twitch.tv/Vidiots Official. Streamlabs.com/Podiots Donations. Donate £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show and support us. We really, 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 really flippin' appreciate it. Mikey, kick us off again.
I guess I'm Demons and Steven Scores. Thank you both for the generous donations. Pro Trainer, Stukalicious, Eric. Oh, I'm going to make Eric, Tile, Des, Function, Freddie, Centre Parks Weber, but Camel Case is hard to read. Father Jonathan's Pizza, Peter Borean, Chain Smoker, Big Titty Jesus 42, Austin Peter Minjita, a succulent Chinese walrus, and Puddles of Podiots.
Also, Specky Becky, shit names for wankers. Currently on episode 65. Check Chog Hedgehog, R.I.P. Always an adventure. Mr. Black forgot if he donated. Raindrop Joy. Lord Camelcase Brotovich, the very generous Staniac that fingered the Pope. An excellent moustache. Mikey's spiciest fart museum. Fintristam. Max says, just like spaghetti. Don Echo 7, wank in the Aldi middle aisle, and Eurovision dong contest.
Finally, we have Mikey likes the dangle, spread cheeks, slap balls, Carol Voldemort, Chegg winner of all, Basil Thrush Boom Boom, Nobby Blobby wanked on Noddy, Help my bum fell off, Mr. Macca. Tommy the Wank Engine says, thanks MJ for helping to burn my DVD. Using Orphan Tears as lube, make Pod Squad wholesome again, Big Dick Johnson's Greasy Gunt, Just Keep Swimming Ash, Prince Beefcakes, Caroline I'm Leaving You, and Scotch Bonnet Bum Ring Sting. That's your Pod Squad. Thank you so much everybody for supporting us. Once more, streamlabs.com/Podiots donations, £3 or more. Mikey, where are you hiding on the internet?
You can find me hiding under the rock of Twitter at ParrotBoy on the Twitters, where I occasionally post things. Been a bit quiet recently, but there's some nice pet pictures on there and stuff, so look at them. Ooh. And ParrotBoy on Twitch, where I'm also being very quiet at the minute. I apologise. I'll get back to streaming at some point, probably.
He'll get to it, and it'll be a triumphant and glorious return, and it'll be worth the wait. Peter, where are we?
We are Team Triple Jump on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook. That's where we're doing videos that you'll be a little bit familiar with, including Worst Games Ever, Rules Boss related things, and so on and so forth. We have a new presenter now, Ashton Matthews.
Whoa!
So there's all sorts to check out over there. We're also individually on social media at confused_dude and at that Peter Austin. That's on Twitter mainly. Yeah.
You okay? You done?
Yeah.
You sound knackered, Peter. Are you all right?
I am really tired. Yeah.
You've just come back from your holidays.
Yeah, I mean it was like a 5-day weekend, but it was like you're on. I mean I wasn't hosting, I wasn't having to entertain other people, but like I was, socializing, and I really enjoyed it, and I don't want anyone to think that I wasn't enjoying myself, but that to me, some people find that energizing and some people find it exhausting, and I found it exhausting.
I definitely know what you mean. It was Peter and Amy on tour, wasn't it, as much as it was a holiday?
It was,
to go and perform. Well, we're finishing up now, and then you can go do some more socializing later, which I know you've got to get off to go and do.
Oh dear, Peter.
So there we are. Why not leave us an iTunes review or a review/rating on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. The question was about what was the most grandma and granddad thing you do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let us know,
There's some
everybody.
corkers out there.
Let us know. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Look after yourselves. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.